Little Pony, My Little Pony. So Rainy and families, a little world of love, that's all they is.
Hi, Cricket. You and me, we are new.
I'll take care of you, Gizmo.
I keep on dancing.
Billy Boppers, the worlds of wonder. Bob till you drop.
Or your mommy should stop.
Cabbage Patch Kids, a special kind of love.
Hello, fairy friends. Welcome back. And if you are new here, my name is Liz. We are getting in our time machine today and we are going back to the 1980s. I have some of the best memories of this time of my childhood, and over the years I have collected some of my very favorite dolls and toys from this time period. Today we are fixing up the second Cricket doll I found a while back at the thrift store. She is in desperate need of her spa day, so we are going to be shampooing and conditioning her hair. Then we will work on cleaning up her face, her arms and legs, putting her hair back up in its signature pigtails, and getting her dressed. So let's get started. Any shampoo or conditioner will do. I am being lazy and I just grabbed what I would normally use. You can get something that is generic. It doesn't matter. It's not real human hair. I also use a detangler spray, and this happens to be the name brand, but you can get generic. The Walmart generic actually smells better than this, I think. And I'm using a generic Miracle Eraser, also at Walmart, and any brush will do. I will wrap her up in a towel just to keep her face dry from any splashes. It doesn't matter how careful you are, a little stray drop of water can go in her face, and we do not want that because she has inner workings inside her mechanism and stuff. We do not want to compromise that. And I'll just work that shampoo in. I let it sit because this doll was made in 1986, so I doubt she's ever had her hair shampooed, and that might be why she was $5 at the thrift store. Later you'll see how odd her hair is, and some dolls are like this. They have big bald patches, and the hair style is supposed to be styled to cover over this. So we'll look at that later. But I'll shampoo it, I will rinse it out, and then I'll put in the conditioner and let that sit for a little bit and then rinse that out. And I've put a towel around her face, or around her head rather, while I work on her face. Now the magic erasers or Miracle Eraser, it does not have to be sopping wet. In fact, do not do that. It works best if you get it slightly damp and squeeze out any excess water. And be very careful as you're pressing around the eyes because you don't want water to seep out of the sponge into her eyes. If you lightly wipe around her eyes, you will be fine. And you'll just get all around. If it looks as though that you're pushing or sliding the dirt and grime around on the surface of the vinyl, then just get that Miracle Eraser underneath the sink and rinse it off and squeeze it out again. And in addition, sometimes you actually will have to just take a dry washcloth and wipe that dirt away, because there's only so much you can do with the Miracle Eraser. And if you are needing to keep the doll dry for the most part and only damp, then you don't want to add more water. That's not the solution. It is just carefully wiping away and then drying with the towel, and you will see what a wonderful job this does. And it doesn't take any particular skill. You just have to be patient. And I like to work on the face first, but you can work your way from the toes on up. And you'll notice on the Cricut doll, her face is a different type of material, and there are 2 different colors here, and that is because it is a different type of vinyl. This has more of a rubbery feel in the face, and that's what makes her more lifelike. When she goes to speak, her little cheeks move and her mouth opens and closes and just gives her a little bit more life. Whereas in the arms and legs, they can be a little bit more tough of a vinyl. And here in the back is where her cassette is, and I'm just testing real quick. I would like to get her mouth open a little bit so that I can get inside there. So I'm going to have her say a couple of things. And she actually starts to work, but then as it starts to slow down. And it's not the battery power, because I put brand new batteries in. What's happening is the belt inside needs to be changed. Basically, her mouth opens and closes, and then her eyes move from left to right. She doesn't have eyelids. And the belt in there is what makes that happen, and that'll be a separate video. Thankfully, her cassette works, her cassette player rather, and she did come with a cassette, so I don't have to get in and deal with the cassette player inner workings, because that would be a really big fix, and you may have to consult a different video if it's not playing at all, because you can only do one thing at a time, and it's got 2 different things. Somehow they are connected. When the tape plays, it does start that belt. But again, that'll be a different video. I've been told that I talk too much and I don't show enough, but I'm trying my best here. She has a little bit of transfer paint here on her forearm, and that just needs a little bit extra. It's a little white streak, and you'll see this sometimes where the doll was displayed, can rub against a painted wall or a shelf, or during regular play, whenever her little girl or little boy was playing with her, she just might have rubbed up against something. And sometimes there's ink stains, and that's another fix. Thankfully, she does not have an ink stain, but she does have this orangish residue, which does remind me of the dolls that I have cleaned up that have been exposed to cigarette smoke. Thankfully, I don't believe that's the case, because she has no cigarette smell. Now we have her out of the bathroom, and I'm going to work on separating her hair in that middle part there. And it takes a little bit of patience. As you can see on either side of her part, she does not have any hair plugs. And some doll companies choose to do this. Sometimes it's a necessity. Sometimes it's just they've devoted a lot more to other aspects of the doll, and I wouldn't say they've cut corners, but perhaps they did, perhaps they didn't, I don't know. But once you get this separated, it covers over those big bald patches. She has the bangs in her part that goes all the way to the back. So when I separate this into the pigtails, it will cover that up. Once you get it styled how you want, back in the pigtails, or if it's just one ponytail and it still looks thin, give it overnight, and then go back in the morning and see if it's dry completely, which it should be. Then take it out of the elastics, one pigtail at a time, and brush it again, and you would be really surprised. Even though it's not human hair, it does kind of a little bit dry, a little bit fluffier and fuller. and I have been pleasantly surprised many a time when I've come back to it the next day and gave it another brushing. So here I am putting the little elastics in. You can use clear or you can use ones that match the hair color. My other Cricut doll had a different hair texture. It was more curly and it lost a lot of its sheen. However, this one seems to be a little bit more on the wavy side, and it's kind of a little bit more of a yellow tone of hair, and it's just in a lot better shape. But for $5 for both of them, I got a deal, and you just work with what you have, and it can't be perfect. For goodness sakes, these were from 1986, so I think they're doing pretty good for how old they are. Now, I've dressed her in purple overalls and a floral long sleeve onesie. I thrift almost all of the clothing as well, and these are little corduroy overalls that I found at the thrift store. I just think they look adorable. I will be trying to find the pink Cricut shoes. I have like 5 pairs of the red Corky shoes for some reason. Do not have a Corky doll, but I do have those shoes. They're red and white. I want the pink and white ones for this girl here and for her sister in pink. And then I will feel like they are complete and ready for display. I am so tickled that they cleaned up this well, and I'm over the moon that they are in my collection. Be watching for part 2, where I get in the back and really work on the inside to get them working in tip-top shape. And I love reading the comments. Sometimes I get things wrong, and sometimes other doll collectors or restorers will add a little tip that I didn't think of before, and I so appreciate that. In the doll community, we all have a chance to add to our collective body of knowledge, and I love when people stop by. If you have a moment, subscribe and hit the bell button, and then you won't miss any new videos, and that really does encourage me. It really shows me which things people are appreciating and which things aren't. I'm going to be doing these things, regardless of whether I turn on the camera or not. I just figure, why not share a little bit of my collection and a little bit of what I know and see if I can't learn something myself. So thank you guys for spending some time with me and stopping by here, and I hope you do have a magical day. Bye-bye.